People of the verse, hello and welcome to the channel. It's the Eradicator. I am live here with the community. You guys that know that this is what we do. On Friday, we review the latest episode of Inside Star Citizen with the community. Hello, Doug. How are you? I'm fine. Thank you very much. And before we do that, guys, let's remember that this month I've got an exceptional giveaway as I am giving away a Retaliator bomber with lifetime insurance. All you have to do, guys, of winning is to be a subscriber and comment to the related video that I'll be asking throughout the related question I'll be asking throughout the video. So yeah, be on the lookout for that one. Also, if you have access to my Discord channel, there's also a G12 with lifetime insurance. So yeah, good luck to everyone out there. Now let's get started. This one is an interesting one. I watched the episode before and I figure out that there is more than what they are saying, and we're going to check it out as we are watching this episode. Now, as a reminder, this is a review with some comments, right? So there's going to be reactions, so that's why I interrupt the video so that we can talk about it. We can talk about what we see, right? So don't expect to see first the entire video without any interruption. That's not how a reaction video works. So here we go. Let's get started. Boom.
So I've been looking forward to announce this for quite some time now. Actor Feature Team is breaking out into vehicles.
The Actor Feature Team, which by the way is going to be bringing some extra content to Star Citizen Nova 3.12. So what we are seeing here in today's episode is content that will be coming very soon into our hands. Hopefully the Evo Caddies next week, we'll see, right? Because it is the end of February. Next week will be March, right? So they usually get about a month until the live release. So hopefully we'll get some more info soon about what we are seeing here on the screen.
Sounds a little odd. Give me a sec to explain.
Hello there, Regis.
So
Push and
Actor Feature Team
pull.
traditionally has numerous irons in the fire, some very large, some small. That said, all of them add to the wider canvas. Having the PU as a live game gives us a unique opportunity for not just the development of an MMO. The PU is all games combined, effectively. The PU gives us something unique in that we can reach out and ask people to test our features.
Mm-hmm.
Getting that feedback early on allows us to iterate, so it's great all round for all the games we're making.
Well, so far there's nothing that we learned. Of course, the PU is very useful for them to create Squadron 42 as well, because they, all these game elements that will be in Squadron 42 as well are getting tested live in front of their very eyes, and they get to see, what works, what doesn't, for Squadron 42 to be built as well. Reggie says, I hope they talk about the star map and future fixes. No, that is not today's theme, unfortunately, but maybe they will in a future episode, right? All right, so what are we looking at here? This is obviously the Gatling gun. The Gatling gun that we have, by the way, we already have such a Gatling gun when we are in a Valkyrie, those door turrets, these are the same ones, except that the mount maybe is a little bit different. I wonder if we'll be able to mount them just randomly on the floor or on the ground or just on some kind of vehicles, right? So I don't know. I don't think that they're talking about it in this video, but we'll see. Can you turn up the video just a little bit? No, I can't, Mr. Enterprise, unfortunately. Let me see if I can get the desktop audio. No, the desktop audio is already at the maximum. That's because, unfortunately, and this is something that my buddy DG360 has been complaining about that too, right? Jared's video are a little bit too low when it comes to sound, unfortunately. So there's nothing that we can do there.
So one of the features we're working on right now is mounted gun. First glance, the feature may seem somewhat familiar in that we have a Gatling gun on the side.
Yeah, there we go, right?
The issue with the current implementation of that is that it's leveraging the ship turret system. This new feature changes that up. We've implemented it in a way that's both sort of physically accurate, but also gives a much better player experience in terms of the mounted gun. So there are two modes with the mounted gun. There's what you'd consider the ready state, where you're just holding the grip as if you had a weapon in a stock mode.
Okay.
We didn't want to give the impression or the feel of the gun being bolted to the front of the camera, so there's a definite sense of weight and a slight delay in the direction that you're
Good. You should be always using the momentum and maybe the recoil when it comes to weapons, so that's great that it is being taken under consideration as well. All right, kudos to the devs here for thinking about that.
It's to your character catching
Hey,
up.
JT.
In addition to that, though, we have ADS mode, which you'll be familiar with.
What mode? What is it called again? Let's see here.
Although we have ADS mode, which
LES mode. LES mode? What is that? LES.
Be familiar with just FPS shooters in general and Star Citizen with FPS weapons. That gives more finer control, and obviously you're zoomed in, you're looking down the barrel of the weapon. So the first iteration, we're bringing you a Gatling gun. That's going to be the...
All right, have a look at this, guys. Have a look at this. Oh, ABS. All right, M down sign. Okay, I had no idea. All right. Okay, good. Now, have a look at this, guys. Not necessarily the gun, but look at the background. And this is not just any place here. This is not just any wreck that we're seeing. We're going to be seeing that background further down the line. And this is the theme of this video today. I believe, guys, that we are going to have more content than what they're saying. Because, well, this definitely looks like some kind of wrecked Javelin. And we're going to talk about the wrecked Javelin further down the line when they talk about the environments.
Any weapon available, just convenient to add.
And it's very interesting that we have those mounted guns, the wrecked Javelin. Does this mean that we are going to have a specific mission there? Plus, on top of that, right? No, that I don't believe that this is Reclamation and Disposal Oranth, Admiral Gruffus. You'll be seeing later. Why? Because we get to see the same type of excavation device. We're going to see it later when we talk about the wrecked Javelin. So the thing is, we also have the tank that is coming. The tank. Oh my gosh, I said the tank too. The tank. Oh, I don't know how to say that anymore. Let's just call it the tank, right? So we have the tank coming up. Yeah, the crane, right? So we have the tank coming up as well in Star Citizen 3.13. And the thing is that, do we have any content for the tank right now? Apart from the turrets at the bunker stations and the bunker missions, we don't have any content out there. Now, what if CIG is creating a brand new mission where we have, for example, there's a wrecked Javelin, and for example, we have to clear the wrecked Javelin of enemy NPCs that are there. Those enemy NPCs maybe don't have the big turrets that you get to see at the bunkers, but maybe those enemy NPCs do have those Gatling guns here at their disposal. And, if you go there just randomly with some infantry, that may be very dangerous. But if you bring in the Nova tank, it will be very easy to dispose of those Gatling guns. That's just some speculation here, but this is what I believe. I believe that CIG is creating a new mission, a surprise for us in Star Citizen 3.13, and that is going to be involving that wrecked Javelin that we get to see here. I don't think that this is Oranth. I think that this is the wrecked Javelin. We'll be seeing it later, Gruffus, and I think that the tank is also going to play a role in that.
Ad hoc locations for you guys to give it a try and see what you think and give us feedback. Not just going to be Gatling guns. The intention is to provide a wide range of weapons. So you're aware of how many weapons we have on our ships. Imagine that on a mounted gun. But moving forward, there's other iterations of the feature we want to make. Possibility of the locations, especially in Squadron and in Theaters of War, you're going to see them cropping up all over the place. So,
oh my gosh, he's just mentioning Theaters of War. Okay, maybe it is a Reclamation Oranth because it looks a little bit flat and similar. Hey, it's Danny Allen says, I'd love to see an FPS mission with a realistic stealth option. It's been overdue since that Star Citizen CitizenCon mission. Yes, it's true, but I think that for that we need to have the cutter tool. So maybe when we have the cutter tool, Danny Allen is going to become... Okay, maybe I'm full of crap and this is not the Javelin, right? But I still believe that there will be a mission with a Javelin, and maybe it will still involve Reclamation Center Oranth. I guess we'll see, right?
Feature, I think. Another feature we're working on, and in fact we've worked on this feature for a little while now, is force reactions. And in this iteration, we're introducing staggers. Stagger really introduces just an extra layer into the combat experience. It's not something that's as disruptive as being knocked down, but it is something noticeable and visceral when you're shot, say, from a 50 cal pistol or a bearing shotgun.
All right, it's coming up here in Star Citizen 3.13. We're going to have more force reactions, and it's going to make everything look a little bit more realistic, I suppose.
Feel it. The intent has been to just flesh out the whole force reactions feature. We've now got a complete range of severities from being hit from shotguns, pistols, sniper rifles, etc. On top of that, ships make use of this, so it's no longer a case of a slight flinch or a fall in your arse. You can now stagger as a result of your
I see.
pilot ramming into
now
the nearest,
this is looking very realistic and very cool for sure, but I'm afraid of one thing. And I don't know about you guys, but I tend to be very sensible to movement when it comes to playing games, and I'm afraid that this is going to make me feel dizzy. You know, if the ship is moving and I'm not sitting, I have to go from one place to another. I'm afraid that I will, you know, I'm afraid that I will want to throw up at some point, right? I don't know what you guys think, if this is a concern for you as well, especially if you're playing this in VR. In the future, we're going to have VR, right? Hopefully. This is not going to feel very comfortable when this is going to happen. But again, that's why they're encouraging people to be sitting and not wandering around ships when the ships are in motion.
Just station whilst taking off. Again, as mentioned, the active feature team is breaking out into vehicles, and I can excitingly announce that our first vehicle will be a cargo trolley.
Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that, guys. This is gonna make, I think, traders happy. I don't know if this is going to be really relevant for traders, because we don't really do that ourselves, but especially this is going to be very exciting for people who do multiple deliveries at the same time. Imagine you have, you know, right now the maximum is 4 boxes at the same place, 3 boxes at the same place, if I am correct, right? You need to deliver 3, but you have multiple pickups and you need to deliver 3 boxes at the same place, or sometimes you have 3 boxes at the same place you need to deliver at different locations, right? But it's very annoying to go from the outpost to the ship and back to the ship to the outpost and so forth. You want to have a trolley like this to put all your boxes on a trolley and then bring them back in the ship. That is going to save some time. So I'm glad that they are finally coming up in Star Cinema 3.13. Again, this is coming, no, it's not 3.13, it was actually delayed, guys. It was delayed to 3.14. Still, nevertheless, it's coming there in a couple of months. It's looking quite funny, right? Yeah, now you can pick 20 boxes, says Francis Red. Yep, that's right. Microphone is escaping.
I didn't think we'd get to the point where it's Jackass in space, but now we have opportunities. So the feature we're working on is trolley push-pull. Believe me, it does actually afford us quite a few things for the game. For one, it allows us to do cool things like pile corpses onto trolleys and push them around. Who doesn't want to do that? And no, Jared, I'm sorry, that there's not the ability to jump up on the back and ride down a hill. Not in this version, at least, anyway. There is, however, the potential for races, if you and a friend want to push each other around.
Okay, so yeah, I guess that people will be trolling with the trolley. See what I said? So they'll be they'll be sitting on those trolley being pushed. I guess that could be fun a little bit. I'm not sure I want to have trolley races, but
I can see a new bracket in the Daymar Rally.
No.
As a feature, it's been really interesting because we've taken the approach of making it physically accurate.
Oh wow, that is super cool. Did you see how those boxes just fell? Let's have a look again.
Of making it physically accurate.
Oh my, that means you really are going to have to be careful. There's no magic magnet here at the bottom of those trolley boxes here. You are going to have to be really careful, or just gonna fall off like that. That is really cool.
Coaster wheels that spin and rotate based on how you're pushing it. If you've ever pushed a trolley cart around a supermarket, you'll know how that goes. But it also expands our toolbox for level designers. Imagine any FPS or third-person game without some sort of push block you can push around and climb on top of.
Okay, yeah, that is how it's gonna work, and that's where I can really see some good use here for the tractor beam. Using the tractor beam to put those boxes from wherever they are onto the trolley, and then bring the trolley to your ship. I wonder if you can actually use the tractor beam to push the trolley back in your ship. That would also be very cool, right? How would it work in ramps? Well, you know, Francis, just as what we said, maybe the tractor beam is going to help quite a bit, right? I guess we'll see.
Not for 3.13, but moving forward, the intent is to make use of them in various delivery missions and whatnot. And then beyond that, we'll see NPCs and players using them to sort of push cargo around.
Oh yeah, did you hear that, guys? Not in 3.13, but maybe 3.14 or onwards, we will have delivery missions in which we will have to be using those trolleys. Who knows? Maybe instead of using just 3 boxes, we'll have delivery missions with 20 boxes. That would be cool. Now my main concern is, you know, are the servers going to be able to handle those? Now that's a whole other question, right? But I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll see again the comeback of multiple planets, you know, multi-planetary deliveries to to, which we have been missing for many patches, though. Those were much more exciting than the current one that we have right now. So maybe with those trolleys and those new missions, we'll maybe do a delivery from the moons of Crusaders to the moon of Hurston. Who knows?
At a later date, that's going to be a key component in terms of your day-to-day life as a...
That's a good question. Taylor Sterling here in the chat is asking, how high can we stack them? I don't know. That would be cool to have, mountains of boxes on those trolleys. I guess we can stack them, maybe the weight will be the limit, right? If it's too heavy and you can't push it anymore, maybe.
Things around with your ship. So that's 3 of the features that our feature team are working on. Coming to you soon.
So talking of those stairs here, very useful. Let's go back here. People have been saying, sometimes I cannot get in my cutlass because, the side doors are... The side doors are too high. Well, with those steps, you are definitely going to be able to reach the side doors of the cutlass.
With your ship. So that's 3 of the features that our feature team are working on. Coming to you soon in 3.13. It's
so cool.
To know.
Really cool. Look at that. So we got those steps here in that ladder. I think that it would be cool if those ladders are just associated, or maybe the trolleys, right? It would be cool if the trolleys and ladders are just associated with the landing posts themselves. Like they're just posted there at the outpost. So you just get there at maybe some kind of hangar or a specific building at the outpost, or just outside of some building. Bring that to your ship, do your delivery, bring back the trolley wherever it was, and then you just go. I don't think that you'll be able, or you will have to bring them into your ship. I'm sure some people would steal them, right? But I don't think that it would be necessary. It would be just good enough, in my opinion, to just leave that at some outposts.
That you're working on features that are not just for one game, but for also Squadron 42, Theaters of War, and the PU.
Hey, Aki.
And obviously, once you guys have had a chance to give feedback, it does open up far more possibilities for people putting videos on Reddit, which is obviously one of the reasons I'm making this game.
The symbiotic nature of...
All right, guys. So we've seen... I know that they're teasing us here with Daymar and the Gatling guns. I cannot find the... There you go. I know that they're teasing us here with Daymar, the Gatling guns. The Gatling guns on the trolley. Yeah, that's really cool. But I have a feeling, guys, that there will be more to Daymar. And we'll be seeing that here as we talked about the environments.
Games in simultaneous fashion means that testing for one is often testing for all. And through these new additions to Star Citizen, the same functionalities are also added to Theaters of War and Squadron 42.
Jared, please, guys, stop talking about Theaters of War. That's enough. How long has it been? Theaters of War. It's going to be a year and a half since we've seen Theaters of War. It was promised within a few weeks. We have no updates or whatsoever. When is it coming to our hands? Jared, if you talk about Theaters of War, give us a date, please.
And if maybe shopping carts and mounted machine guns aren't your thing, note, ask Chris about shopping carts on mounted machine guns. We've got a sprint report for you full of environmental goodness. Let's take a look.
All right, let's have a look at that sprint report here. Oh yeah, this is coming in 3.13.
Development of ship-to-station docking, which after passing its go, no-go last week, has now moved into the final art phase where teams will begin working on things like the final levels of detail, signage, and overall polish in the month ahead.
There we go, right. And that's something that I've been enjoying in those Inside Star Citizen episodes, is seeing the development of those particular docking arms. We've seen them from early concept to white box to gray box, and now we're getting to see the final art coming up to shape, and then it will just be in our hands, right? I like that. That is open development, guys. Seeing from the beginning until the end. When it becomes a concept, they are probing what people are thinking, and they see that it's really, people are really enthusiastic about it. They continue working on that. They read our feedback and they iterate on that. I like that very much. That's what I want from this project. That is why I am backing Star Citizen.
While this certainly looks great already, it has been, as is usual with any brand new workflow, a bit of a setup challenge to get the animations working just the way we'd like.
Oh, I would love to see the bloppers, the bugs. I would love to see I would love to see that. It's looking like a lag fest, says JT. I don't know.
Progress is being made.
I guess it's supposed to be slow. I guess we'll see, JC.
Proper lighting and the big bulkhead doors in the coming weeks. The Planet Content team recently completed a sprint on a new type of harvestable being added to surfaces in the upcoming Alpha 3.13.
Okay, this is coming in 313. Some kind of seaweed that has some fruit at the same time.
The Degnus root is a microalgae that was first discovered in the shallow coastlines of Terra Prime. Now, although it is often used...
Guys, did you notice that they're talking about Terra Prime every now and then? Like that space cows coming from Terra Prime. This is another thing here coming from Terra Prime. Something that I've been saying for quite some time. After we get Pyro and Nyx, we're gonna get Terra. That studio in Montreal that they're building here to build, worlds. I'm telling you, the first one that they're going to build is going to be Terra. I'm telling you guys.
Used for cooking, Degnus can be most commonly found in medical products, thanks to its unique blend of nutrients.
All right, we have that in medical products, so maybe these are going to be needed to, I don't know, maybe we'll have some crafting. Is this going to be useful to craft med pens? That would be great.
Astute followers of the public roadmap may have noticed the continuing polish of planets and moons in the standard
Yep,
system
coming up in
over the
3.13.
last several patches. And work continues with this look at recent efforts on Lyria, where the team never quite felt it hit the internal benchmark they were looking for, but with updates to both the materials and asset packs is now closer than ever before. They're also working on a return to the corals found around the oceans of Hurston.
Oh yes, those textures here, the corals, which kind of look similar in terms of textures to the acidic biome on Ariel as well. So those are coming back. It's true that they've been missing. They're coming back. They're going to make the shores of Hurston look a little bit more realistic and diverse. I like that. Maybe this will be come along with those special algae.
Starfish, which I'm told will be sci-fi'd up a bit before release. Space starfish.
Space starfish. All right.
It's also important to note that a placement pass is still pending, so none of this should be quite as dense when you see it in Alpha 313. Fingers crossed.
Maybe, Aki. Maybe.
Looking a bit farther ahead, whiteboxing continues of several of the colonialism outpost buildings we've seen concepted over the last several months, using the idea of a small home as their starting point.
That is so bad. Why is this only for NPCs? Why? I hope that we'll get to go inside, maybe hunt down some NPCs, maybe we'll have some ground surface bounties, because right now all the bounties we have are only in space, which I think is a shame. I would love to go to some kind of village and hunt down some NPC or even players hiding in some places, but we'll see if there are any uses for those.
Like the standalone battery pack, the rooftop solar panels.
By the way, what is that? What is that, guys? Is this, guys? Are we looking again? I've been spotting this for quite some time. I think that this is Yela. And we're looking at the updated Crusader, guys. This is the second time that we're seeing the updated Crusader and Inside Star Citizen. I'm pretty sure that this is how Crusader is going to look like in the future. Looks like a moon from Pyro. Well, it could be Yela as well, Max Challenger. I think this is Yela, and I think that this is Crusader, but just my opinion.
And life support units. They've also begun to box out the small garage unit that can comfortably fit an Ursa rover.
Cool.
As well as a ladder up to the roof, because we're always thinking about advanced traversal options.
Now, of course, we're gonna have people on roofs sniping other people. That's the way it should be, right? JT says they will probably turn this into a Star Wars Galaxies where everyone builds their home all over the planet. And I think that there's gonna be enough room. The problem with Star Wars Galaxies is that I think the maps were 16 kilometers over 16 kilometers, right? If I remember correctly. So, you only have so much amount of maps for several hundred thousands of players playing all together, right? So eventually things get crowded. Those planets, even though they're at 1/6 of the normal scale, are huge. So even if you get all the players on one planet, you will still be difficult to see all the houses all together, right?
As well as some tests using the recently revealed terrain modification tool to see how the overall buildings work with the smoothing volumes.
Very nice indeed. Looking quite alright. Look at this nice little settlement. Again, it would be great to have some roads, a nice little road for going from this building all the way to this building. Please, CIG.
Internally, the team has also begun blocking out the social
I like the
space,
windows.
the brush extensions that connect each individual module, figuring out where they can hide the placement of viz areas and runtime probes so that they don't create visible seams for players to see, exploring the potential return of the conversation pit.
Oh,
Because
yes.
everything old becomes new again. Hab units for players to decorate and store items. And this party in the bathroom.
Which, by the way, bathrooms coming up in Star Citizen of 3.16. Hopefully, if everything is coming all right by the end of this year, we'll have hygiene in the actor feature team tier 2, which will involve eventually going to the bathroom as well. So finally, those bathrooms are going to have some kind of functionality. I don't know. I think it's exciting.
There's a
Yes, Clint, the C2 is
going
going to be next.
But I'm not going to make it. Outside, pre-production has begun on materials explorations and defining exactly how these structures are constructed in the lore of our universe. From the foundation stones at the bottom and up through the various paint layers, to exploring new types of hard surfaces for the interior.
That is
edgeware
super
effects.
cool. That definitely does have some kind of Star Wars vibe for sure, but at the same time, Star Wars doesn't have the monopoly of sci-fi, and it makes sense that, people are using local materials to build whatever houses they have. Let's say this is on Horizon, for example. It definitely looks like the kind of color pattern that you see on the ground surface, which is could be why these look like these particular color, because that's how it looks like outside. I mean, even right now, as we were speaking in 2021, we're still thinking, how are we going to build outposts on Mars? We're going to build outposts on Mars using local materials as well, which will have the local colors too, right? So that's why it makes sense, and I'm glad to see that.
Which are designed to remove sharp corners from every surface. It's a very different kind of building for Star Citizen, so the team is having a lot of fun exploring a more organic-looking structure all around.
I would love that, Danny, if people could also build not just homes but also roads and infrastructures. Basically, when we're gonna have our land claim in the future, right? Just the ability to do whatever we want in our land claims.
Teams have also begun the white box blockout for 2 new hospitals beginning their journeys into the persistent
Awesome.
universe.
Finally, we're going to have the return of hospitals, guys. The return of hospitals, because we had hospitals a very long time ago in Alpha 2.0. And even before, when we had the social module, right? If you remember the social module, that early mockup of ARCorp a long time ago, there was a hospital out there. Of course, it was not functioning, but at least it was there. And now it's finally good to come back. This time, they will be functioning, hopefully, I think, for Star Citizen of 3.16, which is when we're going to have the next improvements for Horizon, which will include the hospital, and apparently we're going to have the hospital for New Babbage as well.
Including this look at the new Babbage
Hey,
Hospital,
Parker,
soon to
absolutely,
be
you're
found
right.
beneath the Aspire Grand.
Oh, that is so cool. Get to see the Aspire Grand building here from the hospital.
New Bab's trademark skylight looking out to the skyline above it, as well as a pharmacy where you can stack up on med pens.
Did you hear that, guys? A pharmacy where we can stack up on med pens. Jared knows. Maybe Jared's been watching the videos from this channel where I'm stacking up hundreds of med pens. Every time I go buy some med pens, I buy a lot of them. There's 1,000 med pens available. Boom, I buy 1,000 med pens. And there's a lot of players who do that as well, right? Which is why the med pens are always out of stock. So maybe if we go buy the med pens at the pharmacy, at those hospitals, that will have an unlimited amount of supplies of med pens, and this won't be a problem anymore, perhaps.
And eventually an ambulance drop-off point, which, given the way I play, I expect to use more often.
Did you hear that, guys? Ambulance drop-off point, which means, you have a cutlass red, you'll be dropping off the players or the NPCs who will need to have immediate attention at the hospital.
Not. Also in White Box Blockout is Horizon's Hospital, which won't be a part of its original release, but is expected in a subsequent drop later this year.
All right, yeah, 3.16, super cool. All right, guys,
Finally,
this is what I was talking about. This is what I want to talk about in this live stream here. The team in Montreal has started working. You're going to see they started doing that in December, so they've been working on that for at least 2 months, right? Over 2 months. And I believe that this is not for nothing. I believe that there's going to be content that will be coming up with this. I'm really excited about what we're going to see here.
a special treat from some of our team members in our new Montreal studio, a look at initial blockout progress for a new Javelin derelict being used as an onboarding test bed.
There we go. Hey, you get to see the crane. That's what I was saying. It could be Orenth. You guys are saying, oh, this is Orenth on Dema. It could be, but it could be the brand new area that we're seeing here with that Javelin too. And there's the same crane. Those buildings here kind of look similar as well. I believe that we are being tricked, and I believe that there's going to be content coming up, which makes sense. Why would they work on creating that new derelict on Daymar for such a long time And would it be all for nothing? Why not creating some kind of new content that we desperately need in the game right now? This would be a fantastic opportunity to try the new mounted guns. This would be a fantastic opportunity to try the new Nova tanks. And yes, almost looks like a salvage operation. We are going to also have salvage coming up this year. Why not in the future we will be able to take part of some kind of salvage missions as well at this particular place? It doesn't have to be FPS related. It can be also salvage, or maybe a mix of both. You know, first you're gonna have the infantry coming up, clear the area, and then the salvagers who are going to come and pick up the materials that they need. There's a lot of content here that can be done at that particular area, and I want to see more of that, and I want to see content being made out of this.
For artists and designers alike. Now, this was a fun warm-up task that allowed folks to learn the various ins and outs of our game engine, our workflow.
So cool. See, there's definitely, it's not just some kind of random dialogue. There's life there. There's life. There are NPCs. There are some kind of structures too. So that's why I don't believe that it's going to be just some kind of empty place. And surely all of this work is not for nothing, and it's not just for testing. There are plenty of possible applications for that. Looks perfect for hand salvaging. Absolutely. We know that hand salvaging is also coming up this year, right? They've been protective about not spoiling the inside of the Javelin, so even a derelict Javelin may be off limits. I don't think so, because the Javelin is pretty empty. You're going to see Danny in this footage we're going to see later. It's pretty much empty, right? So I don't think that that's going to be much of a problem at all.
Overall general process.
See, that's why I say we're coming up here, going to the derelict here with ground vehicles, right? There's definitely a lot of potential, in my opinion. You know, go there, you land outside, go there with some ground vehicles, clear up the enemy, and then go in there. Maybe the people over there at the wreck have been taken hostage. Could be also possible. There's plenty of things here that can be happening. Speaking of that, guys, this is going to be the giveaway question. Do you own a tank, or do you plan on owning one? Is this something that you're interested in or not? Please let me know in the comments down below. This is going to get you the chance of winning a Retaliator bomber with lifetime insurance as part of this month's exceptional giveaway. And don't forget to subscribe too at the same time. That's right, JT, bring in a few tongs and take care of business. See, that's what I said. Look at that. The interior of the Javelin here is pretty much empty. There's nothing, everything's already, most of the components have already been salvaged, so that's why I don't think it's much of a problem. It's looking really cool. And this is just the very first work that the team in Montreal has ever done. So I can totally imagine, you know, how this is going to be when they're finally going to work on the first planet they're going to be working on, which I believe is going to be Terra, but we'll see, right?
Fun warm-up task that allowed our new team members to learn the various ins and outs of our game engine.
Could be worth something, Protect Parker. Yep.
Overall development process. And it's delightful to see one of Star Citizen's earliest planet-side points of interest potentially evolve into so much more. Now, while this was originally just a test, it has inspired everyone that's seen it to explore this idea further later this year.
I think that this team is getting comfortable. Absolutely right, Parker. This is fantastic. They need to be encouraged. I also agree. This is great. I love what I'm seeing here. There's so much potential. And I just hope that the other teams, that they've finished working on that, right? Now it's going to be up to the content team, the PU team, and the mission teams to bring in some extra content there. The Montreal team is just there to create, you know, sceneries, areas, landscapes, you know, just maps. But there's just so much that we can do here, and I'm really looking forward to future content and missions just for that particular area. And then there's going to be more and more and more, and that is how the game is going to be more fleshed up, and it's going to be transitioned from being a tech demo to something more of a game. And I love what I'm seeing. And that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time for more Star Citizen content. This is the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later. Alright, guys, well, stay tuned, because what are we going to do next? I'm going to go on Twitch now, and I'm gonna play a little bit of Red Dead Redemption online on Twitch if you guys are interested. So if you want, I think the link is probably in the description down below or in every video. So if you have not, see you guys on Twitch, and yeah, hope that we can have a lot of fun there. This is the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later. This video is brought to you by the people who support this channel on Patreon and via the join button as well. Supporters of the channel get access to lots of cool perks, such as access to my private Discord, your question answered in the show, you get to know when I'm going to play, and also you get to have a chance to influence the editorial line of the channel. Any help is appreciated, starts at just $1 a month. Thank you very much for watching. This is the Eradicator, and I'll see you guys later.